the action sequence was great. I had a fun time watching those parts, but just the fact that it didn't move the story much further as far as like the mystery. And then it was just, and I forgot about the ants really until the until the end, like the last couple of episodes when they were fighting the ants. And then there's just it was just like, all right, well, we just gotta fight these next bigger beasts, and I'm gonna awaken them. They're gonna be a part of my army, and then I'm gonna go on to the next big beast.
And I'll be that much more stronger. And then he keeps awakening these armies.
Yeah, exactly.
He kills them and then awakens them. So he's just exponentially growing larger and larger.
Exactly.
And they level up.
Yeah, those things level up too, which is crazy. Yeah.
He's got like 100 creatures under his thrall, and they're all like S rank.
Yeah, right.
So.
Exactly. So it just kind of came off as just like, well, we just gotta fight the next stronger guy.
Yeah.
And we just gotta. He has to fight the next strongest person, and it's gonna be a challenge, but not really because he's the strongest guy.
But not
ever.
Really. Yeah. He'll find some way to win.
Yeah. And then like when he got to the very end, like he was like, oh, we gotta fight the ants. Like, okay, now we gotta fight the super ant, and it was just like. Where'd this thing come from again? I know it came out of a big egg, but then it was just like, and then he was fighting it, and he was like getting the upper hand, and then the ant was like, I was made to be the strong. I was like, how? Why? I don't know anything about you. You're just an ant. You're just this humanoid ant.
I'm gonna tell you about that in a minute, but carry on.
Did I miss it?
No, you didn't. You're 100% right.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. And I was like, why are you important? Why are any of the? And I guess maybe it's because these are creatures from the other dimension that just made it in and were holding up here on the island. Yeah. But I was just like, so the main point of this season was to fight a bunch of ants, is what it seemed like, because there wasn't like much of a story. They didn't push the main story, or what I think is important about the story. They didn't push any of that forward, and it was just like, fight the next guy. All right, claim him. Fight the next guy, claim him, and then fight the ants, claim them. Okay, we won. I guess we won. Yeah, and I was just like, that's all right. That's cool, I guess.
Yeah,
it didn't do anything for me, just because like action animes without a good story don't do anything for me.
Right.
So yeah.
Now, I will say the character and the show and all this kind of stuff, it's almost, when we're watching it, it's almost like you're grinding. It's almost like a hero grind, right? Yeah. So when you take, Cloud or Squall or whatever character you're using, and you go out into the wild and you're just like freaking fighting monsters, you can grow and get stronger. Like, that's fun to do. To get your guy stronger, and stronger. That's what this show is. We're just watching him grind, basically, and we're going along for the ride. So he's getting stronger and stronger and more powerful, which is cool. But in regards to the ants that are there or whatever. Now this is, I'm going to say it's clearly, it's either an homage or they straight stole it from Hunter x Hunter.
I was going to ask you about that, because I haven't even seen the show, but I remember you talking about
Hunter x Hunter. It's a great series. I highly recommend it. It's one of those things you got to watch from the beginning to really appreciate it, in the way I'm going to call it the magic system in that world works. It's very detailed, but it makes sense. So it's very cool. In one of the arcs, and it's by far like my favorite arc, and I've talked about it on the show before, they have these creatures called Chimera Ants, right? So it clearly seemed like they were just trying to do that. I mean, they're literally called hunters, just like, Hunter x Hunter, essentially. And then there's this scene where, you got to fight the ants. So in Hunter x Hunter, in that series, there are these ants that basically evolve. They whatever they eat or ingest or whatever, whatever the queen eats, she can imbue attributes of that thing into her nest or into her eggs. So then that creature becomes a little bit stronger, right?
Oh, okay.
So it's just like, it just keeps escalating, right? So it gets to a point where the ants start eating people. So now they've taken on the attributes of people with the intelligence and all that kind of stuff. And then she ends up eating, she's fed a hunter. And hunters have like this, this enhanced like spiritual energy. They're stronger. They can, do all the kamehamehas and all the cool stuff. So it turns out where she's trying to create like the ultimate being. That's what she's doing. She's like, keep bringing me all this super nutritious stuff so I can build an even better king ant that's going to come along. So she keeps getting all this nutritional stuff, and this, this king ant comes out, who's basically called Meruem, and he's the ultimate being. He's like strong. He is stronger, faster than everybody else. Like, he doesn't even try. Like, it's that bad.
Okay.
So that's where I got because they literally do the same thing in this. These ants that keep evolving, that or keep getting stronger.
Yeah.
Right. Hunter or solo leveling. Right. You have a queen that's trying to create this ultimate ant that's supposed to be the king of everything, the ultimate creature. Hunter.
Yeah.
Solo leveling. So it's literally the exact same thing. And even the fact that they called it ants is like,
yeah, can choose beetles or something.
Yeah, you're not even gonna do anything different.
Yeah, you're literally gonna take that idea. Yeah.
Yeah, so they literally took the ant idea. And in Hunter, they evolve much differently. They're not straight up ants, which I guess they couldn't go that far with stealing it. But so that's essentially that's where they got that from. And
gotcha.
It was the whole thing about just leveling up, getting stronger, creating the ultimate being, and
okay.
So there's no reason why, why are you the ultimate being? There's no reason why watching solo leveling you would, say that. But
right.
when you've seen both of those, it's like, okay, you're just copying that.
Yeah, you're doing the same thing.
Because it was a great story, it's a great arc, and they wanted to recreate it over there. I think I saw it in what is it called? Is it Run to Chase Girls in a Dungeon? Is it Run to Date Girls in a Dungeon or Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon?
I think Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon.
Yeah. They're in one of the seasons. They fought a giant. This was a few years ago. No, a giant ant. No, just a giant, like an Attack on Titan kind of giant. One that they attacked it and it healed like rapidly. It was like, okay, you guys are just doing Attack on Titan.
Oh,
okay. I see what you're doing here, and it's interesting because that's like even in America, like Marvel steals from DC, DC steals from Marvel.
Yeah.
So I guess out there, maybe it's not considered a bad thing. Maybe it's a way of their, again, maybe it's like a bit of an homage. It's a bit of a, just like showing some respect.
Yeah.
Or it's saying, if your creature was in our world, this is how we would beat it. It doesn't matter, but it's interesting. That's where that came from.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that makes a little more sense if you have the context.
Yeah.
Yeah. But otherwise, I just seem like it was just like, oh, like you just said that you were bred to do this, or you're bred to be the ultimate being. And I was
say
like,
that, right?
I was like, this is the first time I saw you.
Yeah. And they showed the queen in that.
Yeah, they showed the queen and the giant egg, or the being in the egg, I think, at one point.
Yeah.
And then they just showed the egg empty after
that
when they got there. So. Yeah,
and they said all those ants were like S-class ants or whatever,
right?
Which is same thing as in Hunter. Like some of those characters became like Uber characters, so to speak.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so that's kind of where that came from. So
okay, yeah, got it. But yeah, for me though, I just didn't really do much for a storyline to me. So yeah, I don't know. I was a little underwhelmed on that part.
In that aspect,
so I just think so the show was kind of. Yeah, middle of the ground for me. Like great animation, great action sequences, but just action doesn't save things for me. My personal. Any negatives? Oh, I had one more nitpick, and I think I may have said this in the last episode. I don't like when they. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm Japanese, or I don't know. I don't like when they take like a show that's supposed to take place. This one takes place in Korea, but everything's in Japanese. They say everything in Japanese, and then when they meet the Japanese character, they're both speaking Japanese. But they're like, oh, we don't understand each other. Because you're supposed to assume that one's speaking Korean and one's speaking Japanese.
Did they do that? Did they say we don't understand each other?
Yeah, they had to have an interpreter. You have to have an interpreter. You have to have an interpreter.
Right. Okay,
and then when Goto or Gojo or whatever his name is, they spar. He says to him like, he says something to him. Yeah. And then Jin's like, I don't know what you're saying to me, but I think we're gonna fight or something like that. And then I was just like, you're both speaking in Japanese,
right?
Like, as a like just knowing the language, like you're both speaking in Japanese. It just like it's kind of like it's just a nitpick to me, where it's just like you have to pretend that you're speaking a different language when we're all speaking an actual same language. Yeah. There's another show that I love, I love the manga more, but there's a show called it's called Beck. It's like about this band in Japan, and they meet their heroes, which is like an American band. And I can't remember if it was either in the English one or the Japanese one where they're both speaking the same language. And then they're like, the main character's like, oh, I don't know what he's saying. He's saying to get up there and sing with them, get on stage and sing with them. But they're both speaking the same language. And it's just like, what? I don't like it. It doesn't jive. Like, it's kind of it's a little like.
A little lazy.
He's lazy. I think it's kind of lazy to just be like, oh, you got to suspend disbelief and just assume that we're all speaking different languages when we're all speaking the same language on screen as a viewer,
Right.
So, yeah.
Or if especially in anime, just you're all speaking the same language. Don't even bring it up. Because in a lot of cartoons, especially in America, they all just speak the same language. Like somebody will go, people will go to different planets and they're talking, having conversation with others. So just embrace it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So either embrace it, you're all speaking the same language, and just let it go, or do it right. I hear what you're saying on that.
Yeah.
Or just do it right. Just
put it all in Korean, Japanese, or whatever the case is.
Right.
Just do it that way. I don't know.
Yeah, and if this was going to be, like a Japanese anime, you're taking a Korean, IP and you're turning it into an anime in Japan, airing in Japan or whatever, then just lean into it. Don't bother with, whatever. Just tell your story and move on.
Exactly. Yeah. So I don't know. It's not even that important part of the story, but it's still just it's a little bit lazy to me.
Yeah.
To be like, we just pretend they don't understand each other.
Yeah. And I guess that's, I mean, my only, I shouldn't say my only, but my big thing with the show is, it's kind of, it's a little redundant, I suppose, just in the fact that, like I said, it's like a hero grind. You know what I mean? You're taking your character and you're just beating everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Like at this point in time, there's no challenge. There's no,
He's really not struggling that much.
Not really.
In these fights, even the last fight, he has the upper hand for pretty much the whole thing.
Yeah. I mean, you don't see him. I mean, I don't know if he might have drawn blood from him.
Yeah, just from the poison attack, but
and then he instantly got over it. Yeah,
because he doesn't have he has that perk that keeps him.
Yeah,
toxins.
There's got to be some sort of threat. That's the whole thing. It's you're only as good as your villain. The hero's only as good as his villain, kind of thing. So, and maybe we're building up to it. Maybe all of this is we're just hero grinding right now. So wait for the main thing to show up. So I imagine when his dad shows up, that's going to mean something.
Yeah,
he may have to fight his dad, because I think his dad was saying something about I don't know, some sort of conditions have been met for something to happen.
Yeah,
I mean, it seems like Sung is the condition.
Right.
So maybe he's going to have to fight his son? I don't know. Or they're going to have to fight together.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be one of the two, obviously. But I don't know. But that's my thing. It does get a little boring in that sense, where it's just, him overpowering everybody. But it's also, for me, it's also kind of it's weird because it's also the fun part of it too. You know, it's just, watching him, take on all these different powers and abilities. And
you got a rating?
I'm going to give this a weak 90%.
Okay.
I'm gonna give it a 90, just because I think it's easy to watch. It's fun to watch. I think it's not there's nothing really in depth about it, kind of thing. So it's either gonna be like an 89 or a 90 kind of thing. But I think it's still fun to watch. I think people can appreciate, especially if you play video games, will appreciate the whole grinding aspect of it, and seeing this guy just become more powerful and going on that ride. I will say it's tricky. If you are an anime fan, I would say if you're an anime fan, you should drop what you're doing and watch it, because it's a pretty popular anime right now. So for that reason, I would say drop what you're doing. If you're not an anime fan and maybe if you're looking to get an anime, it's probably an easy way to get into anime, because it's nothing really complicated.
Yeah.
It's always going to depend on the person, but I'm somewhere between like a stream it and drop what you're doing.
Okay.
I think both that makes sense. Both my answers are kind of like right on the precipice. So yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
What about you?
For me, maybe like I don't even know if I give it like a 79, 78, 79. I was not told a good story to me. I'm not that interested in it. I want to be. I know it's popular, but I can't get hooked onto it.
Yeah.
The action sequences were great, and I really did keep me going with the show. But I'm glad if it was like 26 episodes of just this.
I would have been done. I would have been done episode 12. I'm watching this and I'm stopping.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm glad they just kept it at that short and sweet. As far as like a R rating, add it to your stream list. I think it has some cool things to it. If you only care about action sequences and animation, this is a good show.
This is for you. Yeah.
Great show for you. If you want to be told a cool story, this is not going to do it for you. Yeah. So that's where I'm at on this.
I agree with that.
Yeah, cool.